thing we say we're going to cut is public safety, the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's deputies. And my budget of $25 million in cuts had nothing about cutting any type of service level. Yet every single email that I received asking us, please keep the status quo, keep the budget because we need the service level, not one of it was a service level cut. And so it continually, that continually resonates with what they're saying to the public. And the real reason why all these people are here, and by the way, thank you everybody for coming out. They signed they got over 2,500 signatures on a petition, which is one of our First Amendment rights, is to sign a petition, so that you don't have to go speak to your legislator individually. You can sign collectively, and one voice can speak up for everybody. That was completely left out and negated during the commission meeting. All it said was 38 people spoke against it. Well then, that means the other 500 people that were here at the meeting that didn't speak, all of those were for the tax rate increase? No. And what about the 2,500 on the petition? Nothing? What about the 300 emails I received against taxes? Nothing? Every one of them has to come and be at our meeting and speak, or it's not considered. That's appalling. And that's why all these people are here, was to make sure the public knows it was far more than the 38 reported in Florida today. That was completely inaccurate. All right, that's what I wanted to tell you.
Blatant lie.
What do you expect tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I hope for more of the same. And originally I'd asked the county manager if we could have a different venue, because as it turns out, the speakers were not working upstairs, so people left. And a lot of individuals packed the meeting room for the libraries. Nobody had ever suggested cutting the library budget. So I don't know why so many people from the library were here saying that we're cutting their services. Nobody proposed it. And nobody proposed cutting the sheriff's deputies. That was put out by the county manager if we used his cuts. Nobody said, what if we used my cuts? There were no deputy cuts. So it's just scare tactics over and over again. And that's what we're frustrated about.
So again, the millage rate increase can be avoided without really affecting public safety.
Without affecting it at all. Not really affecting it, without any effect to public safety. One of the things I had proposed was cutting the overtime budget for the detention center. And the comeback was, well, don't you want our people to be paid holiday and vacation pay? I said, well, of course I do. But we found out all the other municipalities, Indian River County, Orange County, none of them pay overtime to their detention center employees. So again, it's all misinformation that's put out there and scare tactics.
Lies.
And that's what's very frustrating.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Way to go, Trudy.
This is what we're fighting for. We should say 2 What I didn't get, I forgot to tell you, we have a commissioner that's using scare tactics on the people that signed that petition. They are looking up people that signed the petition. 2 commissioners, we'll call them Commissioner Fisher and Commissioner Nelson. They're contacting people that signed the petition, telling them that their property taxes are actually going down. And this young lady said, I don't care if mine are going down. You need to cut the spending. And then they went on and told her, do you realize what we're doing for the North Brevard Senior Center? As if we're going to take that away if she doesn't get quiet about our tax rate increase. That is appalling.
That's intimidation.
Absolutely.
I happen to have a copy of the email.
They're trying to intimidate us by not giving our names out. And they're trying to let us that we can't go up and speak because they'll call us out.
And it's big
You know
government
something?
who buys votes. And they're not buying
Last
votes.
time, everybody got up and spoke out against this. They gave facts, figures, constitutionality, and morality that's behind this to do it. Everybody, including me, said we don't want police cut, we don't want fire cut, we don't want the essentials cut, we want you to cut frivolous spending such as $1 million crab shack and horse stables and this other, putting flowers along the boulevards and stuff like that. Cut the non-essentials. How dare you threaten us with things that is your job to do? And no sooner had the public comment got finished with it, Trudy said, I want the rate the same as it was, and Chuck Nelson looked over, oh, in other words, you want 35 or 40 police cut out of the budget, huh? Still got the same mentality. I thought you had to be somebody that had the mentality at least 2 points above a brick to sit up there, but apparently you got to be mental quadriplegics, because that's what the terrible three are. Mental quadriplegics. They hadn't got sense enough to come in out of the rain to keep from getting wet, and they're not representing we the people, they are representing they the bureaucrats, and I'm fed up to hear with it, and that's coming from a preacher of the gospel.
Hi, our county commissioners and Florida Today have told us that the tax increases that some of us have received is due to Save Our Homes. I'm here to tell you that that's a lie. If Save Our Homes was the only issue, my taxes would have went up by $50 this year. But because we had this tax rate increase, my actual taxes went from $50 to $599. That's 11 times what it would have been on the Just Save Our Homes. So don't believe what Florida Today or 3 of our 5 commissioners tell you. They were lying. Thank you.
Okay, there's a whole bunch of people out here in Brevard County at the County Commissioners meeting offices, and the reason that we're all here is we're opposed to the 16.6% millage rate increase. The County Commissioners seems to be deaf. They've ignored 2,700 petition signatures. They are saying that there were only 38 people at the last meeting that opposed the millage rate increase. 2,700 signatures or 2,500 signatures plus, okay, should not be ignored. We have a constitutional right to sign a petition, and it should be heard. There's no point in signing a petition if it's going to be ignored. We're asking for a 2.9% reduction in the budget. They're saying that they can't afford to do that without cutting essential services. That's baloney. Yet, their salary increases have been increased. Let me read off just the percentages. 20.8, 12.7, 10%, 8.3, 9.3, 36% salary increase, 16.3, 8%. The list goes on and on. They vote themselves money, 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 and then they say that there's no money left for them to cut the budget. Where we show them that there's money to cut the budget, they then threaten to cut our essential services. Yet the suggestions that we're making do not cut essential services. We have the county attorney that gets up and quotes the law and misreads the law and misleads us and says that they cannot cut the budget and they cannot cut the millage rate, when in fact that's not what the state statutes say. The state statute said that they have to establish what the rate would be to maintain the same amount of revenue that they did the year before. It does not say that they have to charge that rate. They can cut the budget and save the money there. We have a county commission that votes 3-2 against the people at all times. It's useless for the people to come to the meeting if we cannot have an impact on the end result. And that's what I'm saying, and there's another bunch of people behind me that will say the same thing.
Thank you. On your feet.
Rhonda Harrell from Brevard County, Florida, and all we're asking is for $2.90 of savings out of 100. 2.9%, that's all we're asking.
The true root cause of the problem that we're having here in Brevard County is that county government grew 56% over the past 10 years, while the population grew about 15%. It was actually higher than that in 2008. So that 56% is actually the 10 years that we're talking about right now. The problem is the county government got used to the gravy train when we had the housing bubble, and now they cannot adjust 2.9% to get more in alignment with reality. This has happened last year, it's happening this year, and it's undoubtedly going to happen the next year, and the next year, and the next year, while people are deleveraging their debt. This has to stop. We need to get citizen action to just force these commissioners to understand the problem. They clearly don't understand it.
Thank you.
Hi, Paula Revere here. I was one of the ones that signed the petition, and I was one of the ones that stayed till 11:30 at night. And I would just like to read you the First Amendment to the Constitution that gives us the right to petition our government. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free access thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble, which is what we did, and to petition our government for a redress of our grievances. A lot of blood was spilled so that we'd have the right to do this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, fellow citizens. The greatest source of indignation for me, as a fellow citizen, is the blatant disregard for the opinion of the people, especially in liberal news outlets like the Florida Today. I resent being called a gadfly. I resent being told that my hard work, my sweat, and my time will not be honored by Robin Fisher when he tells me that my signed petitions don't count. Most of all, I resent being brushed off as merely another obstacle to the corrupt commissioner's agendas.
Thank you guys. Thanks, for organizing.
What you are seeing are videos of the citizens, we the people, standing up to oppose what the county commission is doing to our county that is unconstitutional. Our county commission chairman sat there and said that 2,500 petitions had no value. If those people wanted to oppose the county millage rate raise, they should have been here. Well, the hall was packed with the supporters of the county commission's venue before anybody could get here. There wasn't room for another 200 people. So that was an insult to all the people that worked so hard to go out and get those signatures. It's time for us to stand up and say, no, you work for us. The county commission is an employee of the people, and it's time they remembered that.